Hello, welcome back to my YouTube channel. I'm Nakandra, a tax accountant and owner of Exceptional Tax Services, where we service creative entrepreneurs regarding their taxes and bookkeeping. Today, I am going to be giving you some common tax deductions for creative entrepreneurs. So if you are trying to figure out what you can deduct in your business, this video will be helpful as I will be citing some common business deductions that creative entrepreneurs take on their tax return. Number one, advertising. And this could be anything that you're using to advertise or market your business. It could be something that you purchase online, like Facebook ads or Google ads or Instagram ads, but it could also be something that you may purchase like flyers, something like some type of advertising spot for like a newsletter or some type of newspaper that may be in your local town. These are expenses that will be considered advertising for your business that you can keep track of and claim to write off on your tax return. Number two, dues and subscriptions. These are the subscriptions that you may see that are automatically coming out of your bank account on a monthly basis. Examples could be like if you're using Canva for any of your graphic design, if you're using, or even like for you to like create graphics for your social media. It could also be like Adobe, anything that you're paying as a subscription that's related to your business that is coming out of your account on a monthly basis will be considered a dues and subscriptions category. And those are things that you can write off on your tax return. Number three, legal and professional fees. These are the fees that you pay to either legal, like attorneys, or professionals that are helping you do something in your business. So they may not necessarily be like a contractor, but they are professionals. So an example of that would be definitely an attorney. If you purchase some kind of service, like let's say contracts or like trademarks or anything like that, someone to help you set up like some type of business structure, that would be considered a legal and professional fee. Accounting fees, so fees that you pay to your accountant for like any business advising, any business tax preparation, any of like what you may pay for bookkeeping, that would also be considered a professional fee. Or any type of fees that you may pay a professional. It could be just like a one-time fee, or maybe like a 1 or 2 time fee that you pay someone who's a professional that's doing something for your business. So they're not necessarily a contractor, but they are a professional that's working in your business. That would be considered a tax deduction that you can deduct on your return. And so you should keep track of it. Number four, business insurance. Business insurance is something that you can also track and deduct on your tax return. So this would be any type of errors and omissions insurance. It could be any like business liability insurance. So like basically any type of business insurance that you may have that you're paying either on an annual basis, a semi-annual basis, or even monthly. Those would be considered a valid business deduction as well. Number five, office expenses. Office expenses are anything that you're using around your office to be able to do your work. So this could be pencils, pens, notebooks, paper, anything that's related to your desk or your surrounding office, calculator, like those are all examples of office expenses that you can deduct on your return. Number six, business licenses and permits. This would be like any type of business license that you may have. So if you have to get like a business license in your state, depending on what type of business you run, that would be considered like a business license and permit. Also like your annual LLC. So like if you have a limited liability company in your state, then that would be like an annual fee that you have to pay to your state. And that's also considered under this category as business licenses. So that's something that you definitely have to track to make sure that you claim that on your tax return. Another business expense is merchant fees and bank fees. So merchant fees, especially if you are an online entrepreneur, is really the nature of how you get paid, right? So if you are a online business, you know that you get paid from like merchants. Merchants are like Stripe, PayPal, Square. These companies allow you to invoice, they allow you to receive payments, but in exchange for you receiving payments from these merchants, you have to pay a fee, and that is called a merchant fee. So merchant fees are deductible on your tax return, so you should make sure you track it. Now, when you get your payments, for example, from PayPal or Stripe, when it hits your bank account, they've already taken out the fee. So it's very important that you add the total amount of what your income was. That is considered what your sales are. And then you deduct the fee, and that represents what you got into your bank account. So for example, if you received $100 from Stripe and Stripe took out $3, your income for the month is $100, not $97. It's $100, and then under your expenses, you'll deduct $3 for your merchant fee. So make sure that when you are counting your income on a monthly basis, you are not just thinking about the net amount that you brought in, but the gross amount that you brought in. And then you will deduct whatever necessary bank fees or merchant fees that were associated with you getting your income. So you have merchant fees over here, which is like your Stripe, PayPal, Square fees. And then over here, you have bank fees. Bank fees will be fees that are associated with you having a business bank account. So that could be like an annual fee. It could be a monthly fee. So it could be like an ATM fee. So like any fees that are associated, like bank charges that are associated with your business bank account, these are also expenses and deductions that you need to track and be mindful of. Another expense is rent. Rent will be if you have like a co-working space, if you have like an actual location that you are using that allows you to sell your merchandise, or it could also just be like a workspace for like your employees, that will be considered like rent that you're paying. So that is also a common deduction for creative entrepreneurs. The next one is travel expenses. And travel expenses can be hotels, it could be lodging, it could be airfare, it could be like any of those travel fees that are associated with you traveling. Those are all deductible expenses that need to be tracked. So if you have to get on an airplane, you're for business to go to either like to see a client, to go to a conference, to go to a retreat, or something that's related to your business, you are able to deduct your travel expenses, you're able to deduct your hotel, you're able to deduct like any Ubers or Lyft rides that you have to take, and you're also able to deduct like any of those just related expenses that are associated with your travel. This is also a common deduction. Next is contractors. Contractors are people that you hire in order for you to get assistance in running your business. You could have a virtual assistant, you could have someone that's helping do some of the actual direct work of helping you serve your clients. It could just be like any type of contractor that you may hire that is there to help you do your work. So it's another individual that could be either an individual operating as a business, or it could just be an individual operating just as themselves, right? So contractors are deductible in your business, and it's also something that you can track and deduct at tax time. The last one that I'm going to mention in this video is the home office deduction. So a lot of creative entrepreneurs work from home, and you are able to deduct associated costs from your home office. So if you are working from home and you have a dedicated space, and if you don't have one, you need to create one, because you have the opportunity to create a tax deduction from this. So you must have a dedicated office space for your business, for your office. And you're able to deduct the square foot of whatever your office is by the square foot of your entire home. Whatever that percentage is, this is the percentage that you can use, which would be considered your business use of home percentage. And you're able to deduct some of your costs that you normally pay that are associated with your house. You're able to deduct that on your return. So examples of your home office, like the occurring expenses that you're already paying for, that could now be a portion of it, not the entire amount, but a portion of it would also now be considered deductible, would be your rent. It could be your mortgage interest. It could be your insurance, any utilities, repairs, and maintenance. These are like just house expenses that you're paying for anyway. If you are running a business out of your home, then now you're able to use some of those expenses that you're already paying for, and a percentage of that will now be deductible. So there's two ways that you can claim the home office deduction. There's a very simplified way, and then there's the actual method. And you'll have to look them both up to see which one is more beneficial for you. I may make another video regarding both of those differences. But there are two ways, a simplified version and a more, longer version where you have to calculate more. But at another video, I may create that. But don't forget the home office deduction. So we have went through a lot of common business expenses for creative entrepreneurs. This is not the total exhausted list of expenses. Again, a valid business deduction is considered anything that's ordinary and necessary for your business. So I named some of them, which are some common business deductions, but this is not the entire list of what you can deduct as an entrepreneur. And for more advice, you can check out our website where we have more resources on business deductions, including our ebook that has 80 plus tax deductions that you should know for your business. You can check it out. Our link is below, but just keep in mind that in order for a tax deduction to be valid, the IRS says that it has to be both ordinary and necessary. What that means is that it has to be something that's ordinarily purchased in your industry, and it has to be something that's necessary, which means that it has to be something that you needed to purchase in order for you to do your work. So if it is both an ordinary expense and a necessary expense, then the IRS considers that a valid tax deduction. So keep that in mind. Ask yourself those two questions when you are pondering or thinking about what is a valid tax deduction. Ask yourself, is it an ordinary expense, something that's ordinarily purchased in my industry? And is it a necessary expense? Was it necessary for me to be able to complete my work for my business? If the answer to both of those questions are yes, then the IRS considers that a valid tax deduction. Please follow me for more helpful tips around bookkeeping, taxes, and entrepreneurship. I'll see you in the next video.